My job for today is sanding out the second side of these fullers. I did one side the other day and it fairly knocked me out. Sanding fullers is always very hard work. A couple of things I use: sanding drums on the rotary tool and flap wheels on a drill. If you're going to try doing flap wheels on a drill, you've got to be aware that it needs to be a quality drill with a decent bearing in the spindle. If it's just a bushing, cheap drills sometimes just have a bushing there and it flogs out because you're putting lateral pressure against the spindle. So you need to have a decent drill there. But this seems to work pretty well. The sanding drum, as a start anyway, it's just to get this machining texture and smooth that out somewhat. But there's no avoiding hand sanding. Regarding sandpaper, I love this stuff. It's 3M Free Cut, F-R-E-C-U-T. I highly recommend it. I use 150 grit. It's a great intermediary between power sanders or power tools of any sort. But say you use a belt sander. After the belt sander, I'll always use this stuff. And it's a great intermediary that leaves a nice satin finish. So this is the side that I've sanded the other day. And you can see the finish. So that's 150 grit finish. It cuts pretty well. It's pretty aggressive, and yet it leaves a nice satin finish that's easy to blend out with the higher grits. So it's a great intermediary, and this stuff is really good. It's quite sharp and it lasts a while. You get quite a bit of use out of each piece. I've been using that for about 10 years or so, and I love it. It's really good sandpaper. So this is my work from the other day. And as I say, it's just whatever you can figure out. You can get these for the rotary tool as well. I also went from the sanding drum. That's probably about a 60 grit, and then that's a 600 grit. And the 600 leaves quite a nice finish, which is easy to blend out with the hand sanding. But there is no getting around hand sanding. For the fullers, I use a cork block and a wooden block. I use the cork block first. It cuts more aggressively, and I get more of the machining texture out with the cork block. And then once I've done that, there'll still be a bit of waviness, and I'll go to a wooden block. I've got a couple of different radiuses on this wooden block. Some people use dowels, but I just find I can grip this a lot better than a dowel. And I'm using the narrow radius on these fullers. But yeah, you just make up what you need. But there's no getting around hand sanding. It takes ages and it's very hard work, but to get nice fullers, you can't avoid it.